Hello, beautiful ladies. Welcome to the Jen Marples Show. I am your host, Jen Marples, and our motto is you're not too fucking old to do whatever you want and to do the damn thing and to live your very best midlife. I'm the owner of the Jen Marples Agency, which is a marketing communications firm. I also do business and life coaching. I am a speaker. I am a mom of three teens. And I do all the things just like you do. And my number one goal in life is to let you know that you're not too fucking old and that you have me on your side as your number one champion and cheerleader. So that is who I am if you are new here. So I'm so glad you're here if you're new. And if you've been with me for a while, welcome back. And today's episode, because this is dropping during the holidays, is going to be a quickie. I'm like, you know what? We're going into a new year. You're all thinking about things, and I want to plant some seeds now before the clock strikes 2025. So you have some tools to use in case you want to figure out what is next for you. So today's episode is all about, well, actually, today's episode is it's just really simple. It is 8 steps to take to figure out your midlife pivot. So if you want to try something new, change careers, whatever it is, these 8 steps are tried and true, and they've been battle tested. They are the steps I've taken, my clients have taken, many women have taken to figure out what is next. And so before we get started, of course, you're not too fucking old because I just told you that. So no matter where you are in life, you are not too old to pivot and to explore and to allow yourself the time and space to figure out what you want midlife to look like and what could be possible for you. So without further ado, I'm just going to get into it because I know you're all really busy. Step number 1, you need to spend time alone. First and foremost, if you're thinking you want to change and explore and do something new, you have to get comfortable with spending time alone with yourself. It can be as simple as going on a walk for 10 minutes. If you need to start small, it could be a longer getaway. You could go get a hotel room close to home and just do an overnight for 24 hours. That kind of experience is really, truly amazing. I actually recommend that every busy woman do this because it's sometimes impossible to think. Like, it's really hard to think when you're in your own 4 walls because there's work, there's kids, there's laundry, there's whatever, there's all that stuff. So give yourself the gift of time. But again, this doesn't have to cost anything. It can be very simple. It could just be going to the library for 8 hours and locking yourself into a conference room so you're away from all your stuff and you get used to the sound of your own voice. And so you can let things start to bubble up. And once you're starting to do that, add in journaling because you're going to have all these ahas. You're going to start having thoughts and you're going to want to write those things down. And you're also going to want to explore what brings you joy and what lights you up. So spending time alone is the way to do this. Start with 10 minutes, but that doesn't mean you're listening to music or this podcast. You'll have to, listen to this podcast and then go take another walk in, 10 or 15 minutes in silence because you've got to be able to think. If you don't take time and get off your hamster wheel, you cannot think. So that's number 1. Spend time alone. Number 2, get help if you need it. So if you are at a crossroads and you just feel like everything's really heavy, or you are, you're just like, I've got a million thoughts, I can't, bring them into focus, or you want to get an understanding of yourself, this is where you do it. This tip is get the help that you need. If you're feeling like you just came out of a traumatic situation, there's been a loss, there's been a divorce, there's been something, a job change or loss, a kid's gone off to school, and you just don't feel like yourself and you feel like you don't have anyone to talk to, please go see a therapist or get some help. Also, it's a good time to maybe hire a coach. So if you are like, okay, I'm on the path, I need some help, I need some tools, great. That's what coaches are for. So therapy kind of digs into the past and also like acute situations. If you're dealing with something traumatic or dramatic, coaching helps you kind of take action now and work forward. So, other tools I like, and there are career specific coaches out there who do really cool assessments. So, I know a bunch of folks who do career, there's all those different tools. We've probably all taken those Myers-Briggs and things like that. But I know a lot of different coaches, they use human design, they use the Enneagram, they use Eli assessments, they use all different types of tools to really help you understand yourself. So I think that that can be a really good, once you've gotten quiet with yourself, this can be a really good tool to help you understand yourself. So we've got therapy, we've got coaching, we've got some of these tools. I'm a big fan of digging into anything that can help us understand ourselves. So like the human designs, Enneagram, all those types of assessments really just give us an understanding of who we are. And so we can use that as a baseline, because a lot of times maybe we're doing something in our careers or lives that really aren't in sync with how we operate. And so I've done a lot of these types of things in the past, human design. The other thing I would add into is astrology. So that might seem woo-woo, but we've had Ophi on the podcast before. So I think astrology is another really important tool. I'm all for any tool that helps me understand myself, helps me know what my strengths are, my weaknesses, what frustrates me, where I really shine. And that can just spread light on what I'm meant to do in the world. I've done everything I'm telling you right now, I have done. And so I also, caveat here, I wouldn't spend tons of time and money on doing everything under the sun, sort of pick and choose, because that all the information can be overwhelming. So do a couple things and then add in these tools as you go through this process of figuring out what you want to do. But definitely start with a couple of these things. And some of these assessments you can take free online, or you can hire astrologers, hire coaches, like I said, take human design tests, get a therapist. So I think you understand what I'm saying here. Get some help and support. If you're having something sort of traumatic and dramatic, that would be a therapist. A coach, if you're ready to go all in and get some shit going, you need accountability, you need someone to kind of whip you into shape and give you those tools, that's where the coaching comes in. And then there's some of these one-off assessments and tools you can take, like human design, maybe talking to an astrologer, doing the like Myers-Briggs and or Enneagrams, things like that. So get help if you need it. Number 3, and this gets to be fun. So number 3 is move towards things that light you up and bring you joy. And say no to things that don't bring you joy. And this might feel revolutionary to some, because a lot of times we have so much responsibility that we forget to do things for ourselves that light us up just for the sake of wanting to do them. So we're not doing something because I want to learn, I don't know, whatever technical skill, or I should learn something, or I should do this. This is more about opening up sort of your lens of what's available to you and go, why the hell not? Like, I was maybe thinking about taking a ballet class. Take it. Take the ballet class. Take the book writing class. Join a new club. Go towards things that bring you joy, because it puts you on the path of discovery to see what lights you up. And it's going to be these little metaphorical breadcrumbs that happen when you allow yourself to do things simply for the fact that they sound cool and amazing. And you'll be really surprised at where the path takes you. You'll be really surprised. So just get curious, move towards things that bring you joy, say yes to those things, and say no to everything else. This is kind of a good tip, number 4 here. And this is creating, it's a little 2-column experiment. And so in one column on the left, just write everything that you're good at doing. Write it down. Everything that you're good at doing, every skill that you have. If you're a good speaker, planner, you're good with numbers, you're good with a spreadsheet, write all the stuff that you're good at down in one column. And in the other column, write down what you love to do. And then start making some connections. When I did this exercise a couple of years ago, I wrote down, okay, I'm, good at organizing and coordinating and gathering groups. And I'm really good at writing and this, that, and the other. Put all that down in one column. The other column I had, what do I love to do? Shock of shocks. I love to bring people together. I love to write. I love to get up and speak. I love to motivate people. Then I started drawing these lines next to, you're drawing a line from the left column to the right column. And that opened up some new ideas and things for me. And that's how the podcast came to be. That's how speaking came to be. It's how I went all in on doing events. And you're going to realize that there's been these through lines in your life. Since the dawning of time, I've been organizing and coordinating people and bringing people together. I've always been the one to reach out to other groups and bring disparate groups together. I've never just been part of one group. I've always had tons of different friend groups. So when I kind of wrote all this down, it's like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, bringing people together. And it's a skill. And I'm also great at moderating. I'm just going to admit it. I do it. I run, master classes, and I've got my Stepping into the Spotlight program that's going on right now. I moderate groups. I moderate panels. I moderate discussions. And here's the caveat here. The things that we're really good at, we take for granted, and we don't realize that not everybody's good at them. We're not all the same. I am not good with the spreadsheet. I am not good with numbers. I have an accountant. I have a bookkeeper. So that's not going to be in my little sphere. But guess what? The accountants and bookkeepers and people that I know, they love the number. They love solving the problem, but they take it for granted because that's what they do day in and day out. So don't underestimate your strengths. Like if you can bring people together, great. If you are great at home organizing, that's a skill and a talent. And just because it's easy for you doesn't mean it's easy for somebody else, just like getting dressed. I've had a couple clients that are fashion stylists. That's the word, it's stylists. I've had a couple clients that are stylists. And to put together a great outfit, that's a skill. And to look at somebody's body and be able to dress them, that's a skill. But it's those things that come effortlessly that people compliment you on. Those are the things you need to lean into. So take that little exercise out for a spin and see what bubbles up, and do not judge yourself as you're doing it, and never judge yourself, period, full stop. Now, building on step number 4 is tip number 5. So now you've done this inquiry from yourself with your columns. Now go out there and ask 5 to 10 people in your network, your friends, family, if you want, people who've known you for a long time, people who haven't known you that long at all. To say, hey, I'm doing this little exercise. When you think of me, what do you think of? I've done this a couple different times, and I've done it just recently as a month or two ago. This is something that never gets old. And the other benefit of this too is it's really good to boost you up if you are not feeling confident, or you're not feeling very good about yourself. We all have those days. Let me tell you, we've got those days. You throw midlife, menopause, and all the things into it. And sometimes we just need people to tell us that we're fabulous. Okay, I said it. So, simple exercise, and say, when you think of me, what do you think of? What do you think my greatest strengths are? What do you think I should do? So just kind of give people a couple prompts like that. And people are they love to give you the feedback. They absolutely love to give you the feedback. And I love to give feedback when people ask this question. And I just asked it, like I said, like a month ago in a leadership group I'm in, because we're always questioning, we're always refining, we're always sort of up-leveling, we're always trying to figure things out about ourselves. So ask people close to you, ask people who've just started to know you, because everyone's going to have a little bit of a different perspective. And a little sort of a sub point is if you're already in business and you're kind of taking these steps to figure out maybe pivoting into something new with your business or expanding, the next step is to ask your community what they want from you. So ask everybody what they want. I'm actually going to be doing this. If you get my newsletter, I'm going to be sending out a survey soon, because I want to ask y'all what you want. People, you tell me all the time you want events. I know that is loud and clear. And so I'm leaning into that into the next year. Like I've heard it loud and clear, but I'm going to be sending out a survey sidebar, but that's the way to do it. If you want to pull some clients, you want to pull your community, send it out to your newsletter list. What would you like to see me offer? And give them, do they want events? Do they want programs? Do they want one-off services? Do they want a new product? Fill in the blanks for whatever kind of business that you have. And if you, and this really applies to people who are already in business. So if you're at that first step, just start with that first one. When people think, ask your friends, family, colleagues, when you think of me, what do you think of? So that's number one. Number two is take it a step further. If you have a business, ask people what they want. And that is also very telling. And that's going to map to what you're good at. From step number 4, when you've done those columns, all these things are going to start to bubble up together. But what happens is we overthink everything. And sometimes it's right there in front of us, but it's impossible to see. And we overcomplicate. Our ego gets involved in what we want to do, what we think we should do. And it just muddies the waters. It muddies the waters. And I'm just going to do a sidebar. I'm the biggest guilty human here, because years ago, when I was doing step number 1 and taking time for myself, I holed up in my mother-in-law's pool house. And the thing that came to me that weekend, this was years and years and years ago, was events. And that hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. I sort of put it to the side a little bit. I always do some type of an event, but it's really was my big grand vision years and years and years ago were really big events. Hello. What's your girl here planning for next year? A lot of big events. So you're going to see, as you do these exercises, you can always come back to them very often. You're going to see these through lines, and you're going to be able to connect the dots. And a lot of us are going to connect the dots from who we were or who we are, who we were through our whole entire lives. You're going to see those little dots come together. Number 6 is trusting your intuition. And so it kind of goes with what I was just talking about, is the intuition, kind of what you first start thinking about. It's a very powerful tool. And we've been programmed to not listen to ourselves and to squash down what we truly want. And so allow yourself to listen to yourself and wonder, what if? What if? And think to yourself, what if it all just worked out? I followed my intuition. Something's placed on my heart and soul. What if it all works out? Let's not overcomplicate. Listen to your intuition and take steps towards what it's telling you. And the second piece of that is don't care what other people think. You've heard me say this a ton, but you cannot listen to your intuition and also listen to what other people are saying and think about what they're saying about you. They're not even thinking about you. Think about that. But those two things, you can't do those two things at the same time. You can't listen to your intuition and go for what you think you're put on this earth to do and care what people think and look around for unwarranted and unwanted feedback. So trust your intuition. Number 7, and this is so important, take action. Take action, because action breeds more action. You cannot be inert. You cannot do nothing, because then nothing will happen. You will get depressed. You will wonder what you're doing with your life. It's going to keep you stuck. It's going to keep you stagnant. Everything is energy. You're an energetic being. So you've got to keep moving and take action and get rid of perfectionism and needing the need to have it all figured out. Just know that if you take one action, it's going to lead to another action and another action and another action. And you know you're not too fucking old and it's not too fucking late. Okay? So just take some action. If you're sitting on the sidelines right now going, what if, do one freaking thing. Do one scary thing. If you haven't been working for a while, go get a part-time job. Go ask somebody if they need help. Go ask somebody for coffee and go, oh, I see you're doing something I like. Can I talk to you about it? Take some action. And by taking action, you're telling the world that you're ready to play. If you're sitting home and you're doing your exact same routine every single day, you don't mix it up and you don't take action, what happens? You wake up 5 years from now, nothing changes. And that thought Actually breaks my heart. And so the other little quick piece about taking action is that taking action breeds clarity. So by taking action and say, oh, maybe you want to offer a new service in your business, or you want to start styling or home organizing, or you want to, I don't know, create a food product. The more action that you take, you're going to get more information. And then you're going to realize, I either like this, I don't like this, I like parts of this, I don't like parts of that. And it's just you're going to keep refining, keep going on that path. And you're going to get more and more clear about what you want to do. But you ain't going to get no clarity unless you take action. Okay, number 8. I told you this was going to be quick. Community and connection is everything. So once you've taken all these steps and you're like, okay, I'm going to be a speaker, or I'm going to write a book, or I'm going to go be a fitness instructor, what do you need? You need people around you doing similar things. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. You need to be in entrepreneur groups. You cannot bring forth whatever you want to bring forth into the world in a silo and in a vacuum. My community, I'm in a leadership group. I do networking groups. I'm in menopause and sort of women's health groups. I'm in a lot of things because I get different things. I get different aspects from these different groups that I'm in, because it brings things to life. It helps you power up. Your groups and your support systems will also remind you how fabulous you are when you're having a day, because we all have those freaking days when you're like, what the hell am I doing with my life? And somebody needs to spit it back to you. That's why we need those fabulous communities, because they keep us going and they sustain us. And I'm venturing to guess that most of you listening, many of you listening, are either solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, thinking about what's next. Maybe you're not working right now. Align yourself with the right group of people, and just start by going to an event. There's, like I said, I'm going to be planning a lot of events, and the women that come to events that I'm at, I always congratulate them for showing up for themselves and coming, because it can be a very scary step to step into what you want next. But by showing up, you're telling the world that you're ready to rumble. And then then you want to align yourself with the community that you're drawn to. And those women are going to be the ones that are going to cheer you on and want you to succeed. And on some days, they're going to want you to succeed more than you do, because they're going to see you for who you are, the amazing person that you are, when you can't see it yourself. Okay, those were quick, dirty 8 steps for you to take as you go into the new year. Start now. Start now. You don't have to wait. Start working on these steps, because you get to pivot. You get to make your big, juicy midlife pivot. You get to do whatever you want to do. I'm here to help. I'm here to guide. I'm here to cheer you on. You know where to reach me. Ping me anytime. I'm your number one cheerleader and your biggest support. And I want you to go live your big, juicy, amazing midlife. And you're not too fucking old to do whatever you want to do. Okay, your girl says she's going to be in and out quick because you got things to do. You got to start working on your pivots and getting your clarity and doing all the things. So I'm going to let you go. And so let me know if you have any questions, if you want any support. Let me know how it's going. Shoot me a DM. Shoot me an email. Do whatever you want. I want to know how it's going for you. And if I can be of any support, let me know. You can do it. You're not too fucking old. I love you. We'll see you next week.